everybody, welcome back to the Raw Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you already know I do this every single time. Why? Because we are the best. We are the best community on these internet streets. And I want everybody to be a part of it. And it's so easy. Listen, if you've been hanging around, you've been in the comments enjoying yourself, and you hadn't subscribed, it is so easy. All you got to do is go down in those settings, look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit the notification bell too, so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight that nemesis of mine, that beast, that algorithm that presently has me in a chokehold. But I know I am going to flip the script on it at any time. So listen, thank y'all for the thumbs up. Keep on supporting with that, and I will come out on top. I also want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to all the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Listen, y'all are doing such a great job. I appreciate y'all so much. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, over in the corner, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting this channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful and thankful to you. So over the moon appreciative to have your support. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation, look around, find that thanks button and click it, because all donations to the channel is always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, we do have some super thanks. We do. And first up is my girl. That would be Ella Gully. Ella is everything. She is a ride or die. Always coming through with the support. Always down with the read. Yes, she is. She is just so special. She is the best. And I am so thankful that she chose this community to be a part of. So thank you, Ella. Thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, thank you for being here. And Cat Ham came through. Yes, Cat came through. Now, she has the best name. I love her name. I do. And she is a ride or die. She keeps coming through with the support, and she is always down with the read. She is everything, and she's in those comments dropping the knowledge. She is just a huge part of this community, and I'm so happy that she is here. So thank you, Kat. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And next up, Tiger Mommy. Yes, Tiger Mommy came through again. Tiger Mommy is just everything, and she knows it. And I love her. I do. Tiger Mommy is always supportive, always down with the read, always in those comments, dropping the knowledge, just supporting and just being there. She is so faithful, and I am so thankful to have Tiger Mommy in this community. So thank you, Tiger Mommy. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And last but not least, Donetta Dacosa. Yes, Donetta came through. She did. She decided that she saw something in the read and she wanted to support it, which means everything to me. And I am thrilled to have her here. I am thrilled that she is part of this tribe. I just love it. I do. I look forward to seeing her in the comments more and more. So thank you, Donetta. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all, we're going to play this and we'll talk on the other side. give another quick shout out to Ella Gully, to Kat Hiram, to Tiger Mommy, and Darnetta Dacosa. Thank y'all so very much. Thank you for being down with the read. Thank you for all your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming through. I don't even know what to say anymore. Y'all are so good and y'all so sweet to me, and I appreciate you so very much. So thank you, thank you, thank you for the super things, but most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, these internet streets are a talking. I mean, it's some good stuff out here. Now, it's not a lot, but what is out here is very, very interesting. And what I mean by that is this. It looks like Willie and Kitty has hired themselves a crisis manager. Now, you know, they always have to play it down, especially those flying monkeys. They want us to believe that, oh, it's nothing to see here. They're hiring a crisis manager for non-crisis situations. Make that one make sense. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to dig into that because I find that very, very interesting. And we're going to talk about some more of the nonsense that the flying monkeys, all those rags over there are putting out about Harry and Meghan, especially Harry and his father's potentially coming to the Invictus Games. Yes, more on that. And I am finding it interesting how Willie is reacting to it. Well, we know he wasn't going to react very well because one thing he hates more than anything, even more than Harry, is to be left out of the loop. Yes, and it seems as if Charles has decided to leave him out of the loop and he cannot handle it. So he has done the most predictable thing that he does every time, and that is to cry himself a cup of salty tears and haul them over there to Tom Sykes to write an article. Yes, he has got a cup of salty tears and gone over there where Tom Thumbhead Sykes is, and he has wrote the most batshit crazy article that you can most ever come up with. And we're going to talk about that as well. And we have other stuff we're going to talk about. So let's get this thing started. I'm going to put this up. And this right here appeared in the Fail yesterday. Don't you find this very, very interesting? It looks like KP has hired a crisis manager. Why? Especially when they keep telling us no crisis is going on. But this article says this. Prince William hires crisis manager described as bulletproof sunshine by her old boss as Andrew and Harry's sagas rumble on. And my first thoughts about this whole article is, why is Harry in this? Harry do not even speak on Willie. How can Harry be a part of a crisis that he is not contributing to? Harry is 5,000 miles away minding his business, but they always have to drag Harry into their bullshit. They really, really do. But this woman is not going to change anything when it comes to Harry and Meghan. They should know that by now. They went and got Lee Tomlinson, and they have gotten so many people prior to her wanting them to pull rabbits out of their hats when it comes to Willie and Kitty. Well, let me give you a little insight on that for free. I'm giving it to you for free. Willie and Kitty are mediocre, and you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. That's number one. And number two, if they would leave Harry and Meghan alone, the Sussex squad would not even focus on Willie and Kitty. We wouldn't be out here calling out their bullshites if they would leave Harry and Meghan alone. Try that. I hope this crisis manager tells them some truths, and that is leave your brother alone. Leave his wife alone. Leave his kids alone. Leave the Sussexes alone. And that right there will improve your PR 100% because the Sussex squad focus will move on to the Sussexes where we always wanted it to be. Just a little free advice. You don't even have to pay me as a crisis manager or a PR guru. I'm just telling you for free. Move on, leave them alone, and things will get better. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. This squatty posted that same article and said, it's the living apart being exposed that made Willy hire a crisis manager. Nothing has changed with Prince Harry or Andrew. This is an absurd attempt to deflect from the real crisis. What y'all think? I think this squatty is absolutely on point. Yes, they saw this viral video expose them. And they were shown to be not what they present themselves to be. And that is a happily married couple. Instead, this viral video of them co-parenting showed that these people are work colleagues at best. And they are just trying to present this fraudulent image of a happy family when in turn they are not. And this wonderful family life that they supposedly have with Kate in the kitchen making them ugly pancakes. No, it is none of that. And they were exposed for that. And now they're in crisis mode because they know it's just a matter of time that it all starts to unwind. I'm just saying. And this squatty absolutely makes a great point. She says hiring a crisis manager signals that one is in crisis. Yes, they want to try to gaslight us into believing that no, don't look here, no crisis here. But in actuality, why are you hiring a crisis manager for no crisis? It makes no sense. And she goes on to say, I guess Willy is finally acknowledging that he has been in crisis since Prince Harry brought Meghan to meet the family. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? That is when the crisis started. Well, to be honest, it started when William started to grow up. He was a demon. He has always been a demon. He was a demon as a child, and he is a demon as an adult. So, can you really put your finger on when the crisis really started for Willy? But I think it really, really started to show when Harry brought Meghan home. And this squatty goes on and says he's unraveled into even more rageful demon after he and Kate caused the Sussexes to flee for their lives. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? When you cause mayhem, this is what this particular squatter was saying. Yeah, they caused this mayhem. And now that Harry and Meghan has gone off and thrived and shown everyone that they don't need them and they're happy, he and Kitty has done nothing but absolutely go down, down, down. They do. They look horrible. They have, in those 6 years, it looks like they were aging in dog years. They look so old. And let's not forget, Harry, Meghan, Willy, and Kitty are all pretty much the same age, especially Meghan, Kitty, and Willy. And they look like the grandparents of Harry and Meghan. Those 6 years have not been good to them. I'm just saying. And this is what he says, does anyone know why you would need a crisis manager if you are the most popular? The moved, loved, and loved up everything you touch around you to go. You fart, you fart stardust and poop sunshine, all at the taxpayer's expense. And all you do is smile and wave while the media praises you. Yes, why? Why would you need one when you poop in sunshine and fart in stardust? This squatty has me on the floor. I'm telling you, but you're the most popular. Why would you need a crisis manager? Good question. Can anybody answer that one? And this squatty posted that article and said Monica's are already screaming that she's being hired as a preventative crisis manager. Well, we know how they use the word preventative in their what they consider in context. Yeah, it's like that preventative chemotherapy and all the things that they lied about that performative cancer. Now they want us to believe that she is just a preventative crisis manager. Stop it. Stop these people. How can you go on with these people? I mean, it is comical at this point that these people treat their subjects like idiots. Who would believe this nonsense? I'm just saying. And this squatty says the same media that said two financially independent non-public figures communications managers contract ending is a PR crisis that needs days of alarmist coverage wants you to know that a taxpayer funded public figure hiring a crisis manager is not a sign that anything is wrong. Exactly. Harry and Meghan are private citizens. They are self funded and they can hire and fire anybody that they want to in their business. But yet and still, they want you to believe that somehow when someone's contract is up with Harry and Meghan, all of a sudden that's a PR crisis. Any kind of personnel change within Archwell or any entity that Harry and Meghan has, then that is a crisis. But now, with this, someone who is literally hiring a crisis manager who is taxpayer funded, but yet and still they want to tell you nothing to see here. I mean, this right here, if nothing, it is a perfect example of the bullshit that these people be on every day. I mean, this is literally the definition and a perfect example of what you would call a double standard. I mean, these people have no sense of self and right and wrong. I mean, they're willing to do whatever to try to prop up this mediocre couple. And at this point, they're making themselves look so ridiculous. I'm just saying. And this squatty says, notice how in their unusual, dishonest way, they claim that the crisis expert won't be used in a crisis capacity. That is so laughable, but they think they can get away with it. I mean, it is so insulting how they treat the British public. They treat them like they're idiots. They don't even bother to come up with good lies. They just throw anything out there. Now we're hiring a crisis manager, but she won't be doing anything that concerning crises because we have no crisis. We don't. We just hiring her for non-crisis situations. Does that make any sense? It makes none. And this squatty went on to say, these two just can't help themselves when it comes to lying. Exactly. And this squatty posted my favorite line from one of my favorite movies. Can you guess what movie this came from? Sure, Jan. Sure. Sure, Jan. Tell me in the comments if you know what movie I'm talking about. And this squatty says, you don't need a crisis manager when you're living an authentic life and meaningful life where you welcome the truth and are not afraid to be judged by your actions. Ooh, right here. Come on now. I am about to shout because is this not right on point? When you are living an authentic life, when you are living in your truth, what do you need a crisis manager for? Exactly. If you are living in your truth and you're authentic, you do not need a crisis manager. And it goes on to say you might need a crisis manager when performative is your middle name. Truth is your kryptonite, but you crave attention. Woo, this right here has to be the best post of this podcast because they get right down to it. This is the reason why they need the crisis manager because they are performative. They are not who they say they are. Harry and Meghan would never need a crisis manager because they are who they say they are. What you see is what you get, but not with Kitty and Willy. What you see is never, ever what you get. And you can see it when the mask slips. Yes, this one right here, this one almost got me shouting and throwing my hands up because it's nothing here but truth bombs. I mean, one after another. I love this. I love this post. And I'm going to put this one up because some squatties believe that the crisis manager might be hired because of the Sussex Squad. You know, the Sussex Squad was behind that whole video of them co-parenting together going viral. Yes, because the person who posted that video was a squatty. She was. She is one of my favorites, and she is huge in the squad. She is, and she posted that video. It went viral. It maybe initiated this whole crisis manager situation. I'm just saying. But this squatty, she agrees that it might be the Sussex Squad is behind them feeling like they need a crisis manager. This particular squatty said, did we break KP? This squatty is saying maybe it was the squad that broke them. Well, all I can say to that is leave Harry and Meghan alone and you won't have to worry about the squad anymore. And that is a promise. Every time I talk about stuff like this, I always put it out there in case anybody is listening. It is so simple. If you want the squad to go away and focus just on Harry and Meghan, leave them alone. And the squatties would do exactly that. And I just love this post because at the bottom, as you can see, this squatty says, wait a damn minute. Did we break Kensington Palace? I think maybe we did. But like I was saying earlier, it's a way to fix it. You won't need a crisis manager if you just leave Harry and Meghan alone. And this squatty says, that bald-headed demon didn't count on the Sussex Squad to stand by the Sussexes doing everything. Miscalculation on his part. Now we expose his antics to the world. Yes, they didn't count on the blowback. I have said that time and time again. They really thought that they were going to be able to abuse Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, without any pushback, without any blowback. They didn't see any downside to doing that. But in actuality, they didn't anticipate the Sussex Squad. They did not anticipate someone coming to Harry and Meghan's rescue like the squad has done. And I just love it for them because to me, this just shows how stupid they are. And this what it says, I can't believe those fools thought Meghan's 3 million pre-British royal family Instagram followers would let them abuse her in peace. Boy, were they wrong. Yes, that was a huge mistake. Because one thing that will never, ever happen is that they'll get to abuse Meghan in peace. That is the reason why they're so mad. Because they anticipated being able to do whatever they wanted to her, and they never anticipated any pushback. They thought that she was just this person who was beneath them and they could do whatever and had no one to come to her aid. Boy, were they wrong on that one. Yes. And not only did she have people to come to her rescue and support her, she had people who were willing to fight. Yes, she had people who absolutely would throw hands and have no problems with it. That is the reason why Willie and Kitty are over there getting a crisis manager, because at the end of the day, we are not going to allow them to abuse Megan in peace without blowback. They need that crisis manager to handle the blowback that the Sussex squad is bringing with them. I'm just saying. And I want to put this one up because I found it interesting. I have to laugh because all of the ugly old hags, the skanks, the trolls, and even the flying monkeys, they cannot talk about Kate without bringing Megan up. She cannot carry a headline without Megan, just like Willie cannot carry a headline without Harry. I mean, it's embarrassing at this point. But this particular squatty posted this article because the skanks tried to celebrate Kate's birthday, but they could not keep Megan's name out of their mouths. It says critics celebrate Kate Middleton's 44th birthday with viral Meghan Markle evil stare compilation. Yes, can you believe that? They're saying that some compilation of Megan looking a certain way, I guess, at Kate, because if this is the example that they're serving up, Megan is not looking any kind of way with Kate. She is trying to get down the stairs. This is them coming down the stairs as they come in. But yet and still they grasp at straws when it comes to Megan, because Megan does not have a resting biatchy face. She doesn't. The camera loves her. And so they have to come up with this nonsense when she's looking down, trying to make sure she doesn't stumble on the stairs. They're saying somehow she is feeling some kind of way about Kate. Nobody cares about Kate. In what way does Megan have any justification of feeling any kind of way about Kitty? Because Kitty is so mediocre. Megan is head, shoulders, knees, and toes above this woman. Megan don't think about Kate, but they want it so bad. They want Megan to be jealous of Kate. And all I can say is, for what? What is it to be jealous of Kate about? Kate is walking around with that big ass scar on the side of her head. Is Megan supposed to be jealous of that and how it got there? Stop it. Stop it. But this particular squatty that posted it said this: congratulations to Kate fans for once again celebrating Kate by talking about Megan. Poor Kate. She can't even have nice things. Yeah, she can't even have a headline without Megan. Mm. If you want to know if someone's mediocre, this right here is a perfect example of it. I'm just saying. I'm going to put this up, and the reason I just had to include it in the podcast is because it shows the level of desperation of these monarchists, of these ugly old hags, all of the trolls and the toadies, and everybody who does nothing but prop this mediocre woman up. It is so funny to me that Kate gave them so little for her 44th birthday. She gave them a video of her walking and looking and looking and walking and walking and looking and talking through AI about Mother Nature that was filmed a year ago. That's what she put up for her 44th birthday. And we all know they were really expecting something that they could get some kind of confirmation that, yeah, Kate is that girl. And they could also use it as evidence to the squad that no, it's not Megan, it's Kate. Kate is really that girl. But this is what they were served up. And of course, all of the ugly old hags and the toadies and the trolls and the derangers. And I want to emphasize derangers because they are deranged and you have to be deranged to do some nonsense like this. Look what they created through AI. They took a screen grab from that looking and walking and walking and looking video that she dropped on her birthday and put a cake inside of it. Just made a picture for themselves. This is so humiliating. This is so sad. This is so typical deranged. It is. It is. I mean, they are deranged on another level. And look what this poor deranged individual said. Happy birthday to my beautiful mother. Love you so much. Now, I don't know what this particular person is talking about and how she wants this all to fit in with Kate's birthday. If it's from the children, if it's from the derangers, I don't know. But either way, it's very, very sick to make up some nonsense like this. We would never do some nonsense like this. It is crazy. And this particular squad that reposted it said, these freaks aren't a full shilling. Where is the lie? They definitely have a few crayons missing out of the box. Who does stuff like this? This is so crazy. And the squatty that commented on this post said this one is really special, as in special needs. Squatties are hilarious. They are. I love it. And I'm going to put this up because I just had to include it. When I read this comment, I said, this is so true. This is Kate's fate in 2026. This particular swatty said, Kate is going to go through some things in 2026. He didn't wish her a happy birthday. He's co-parenting via helicopter, and if her husband is adamant that he's ready to move forward without her, hiring Liza Ravencroft is his first step. He'll turn the media against her. Where is the lie? Because let's not get it twisted. Willy is way, way head, shoulders, knees, and toes more evil than his evil father, Charles. He would do everything to destroy her. She is absolutely at his mercy. I just love it for her. I do. Because I am not a Kate fan. And this was of her doing. She stalked him. She ran the honeypot. And now she is stuck with whatever he chooses to do with her. And the squatty come up under this post and said, I agree, but I think she will do anything and everything not to be divorced. Where's the lie? Because she knows what would come if she were divorced from Willy. And it says, so the game of fool the public will be enacted forever if she takes part. Diana wouldn't take part, and so she was destroyed for it. A heart that wants laziness and the crown will put up with anything. Woo! Tell the truth now. Tell the truth. That's my theory. I don't think a divorce is going to happen. I know it's a lot of squatties who believe it will, but I don't, because Kate will do anything to hold on to the big hat. She don't want to do anything. She doesn't have any talent. This is all she has, and she will hold on to it no matter what. Yes, yes, yes. I agree with this. She will put up with anything. This other squatty said they won't divorce primarily because the children, especially Lewis, who I believe has a mental health issue. Now, I'm not even going to speak on that. And it says George and Charlotte are now visible in the co-parenting dynamic. Weekend bags with Big Willie from KP. Very interesting. Very interesting. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that tape. This squatty says, I believe they are divorced in every way you can without going to court. Now, I believe that to be true as well. And it says, I think that's the biggest fracture between King Charles and William. I don't know about that. I don't know. I think William's behavior is the biggest fracture between King Charles III and Willie, because he don't want to work. He don't want to do the things that need to be done to run the monarchy. How do they say it? Keeping the trains running on time. Willie don't want to do that. He doesn't want to keep the trains running on time. He wants to be somewhere chasing after Harry and Meghan. He wants what Harry and Meghan has. So I think that's the biggest fracture. And she goes on and says, William wants out of the marriage. Pa is telling him no to save the crown. And William retaliates in a sense by not really working or snubbing Pa. I just think it's just him absolutely being a lazy piece of you know what. He just don't want to do it. He don't. He wants all the glory and none of the work. He has always been like that. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But I don't think that's the biggest problem between him and Charles. I think it's the fact that Willie is lazy and disrespectful. I'm just saying. And I also want to talk about this. It looks like the numbers for the Christmas Carol service, or whatever they call that monstrosity that Kate puts on every year. And she does the same thing over and over and over and over again. And this is just a little advice. Listen, why not just make it one time and just play it each year? Because you don't change anything in it. It's like replaying the same thing over and over and over again. It does not make something new if you just have on different clothing. That is the only difference between 23, 24, 25 of this monstrosity that they call a Christmas Carol concert. I mean, the clothes are just different. Nothing else is different. And that is the reason why it's a flippity flippity flop. It is no innovation. It's no creativity. It is nothing except the same thing over and over and over again, with a little of fake playing the piano tossed in here and there. It's the same thing. I mean, people are not going to tune in every year to see the same thing over and over and over again unless you're entertaining like Elf. Other than that, people are not doing it. But I digress. This particular squatty reposted a original post that says, viewing figures have finally dropped for the fake piano playing concert, and despite the propaganda, it flopped even more than we thought. Let me sit down and have a good laugh. Yes, it flopped even more than the one last year that was 42nd. And this particular squatty reposted that squatty and said, I said it came in 42nd. And this isn't a paid streaming service requiring a subscription. This is free, accessible to all. Appears just the seniors join in. Stats were also saying most viewers change the channel after 15 minutes, which is embarrassing. That's embarrassing. And it says, guess we weren't the only ones not fooled by the BS and the piano playing. Despite dragging poor Charlotte into it, it still flopped. The Royals have no idea how to be marketable and even relatable. They think just showing up is all they need. I just said that. Most people with that level of delusional thinking are in hospitals. The madness of King George lives on. Where is the lie? Where is it? I'm looking for it, because this is nothing but that whole thing what Willie said when he visit the Ukraine embassy. He said, "We can't do very much, but we can give you what was it? A wave and a smile here and there." Yes, they really feel just by them showing up and doing the same thing over and over again, somehow their subjects are supposed to be happy with that. Yes, they don't have to do anything except be who they are. Boy, are they in for a rude awakening. I'm just saying. And this particular squatty posted about it and said the actual viewing figures for Kate's Christmas carols have dropped in my inbox from the officials. Kate only managed to get 2.2 million viewers. These figures are worse than originally expected. Looks like the show underperformed by 400,000 viewers compared to the previous year of 2024. She continues to bleed viewers. And it says, for context, the channel's average for that time slot is 2.9 million to 3.2 million views. One wonders where Kate's fans are. Yes, where are they? Somewhere in Botville, I'm thinking. Yes, they all live in Botville. And it says, all the puff pieces, free advertising, inviting Hollywood, and the subjects changed the channels. The 2024 show placed it 42nd out of 50 with 2.6 million views figures. With 2.2, the show might struggle to even make it into the top 50. It's not easy being in the top 10, is it? Not easy at all. Especially when you are the most popular role, it is just mind-boggling to me that the most popular role cannot make it into the top 10. And somehow the most despised role just absolutely keep making it into the top 10 on a paid streaming service. I wonder why. Just something to put out there to ponder. I'm just saying. All right, I'm going to switch gears a little bit and I want to talk about this article from Tom Thumbhead Sykes. Like I said, we all know that Willy, he cries his cup of salty tears and take him over there to Tom Sykes for him to write an article about. And this is what I believe he has done this time around as well. And Willie is feeling some kind of way because he's not in the loop. Like I said earlier in my intro, one thing that Willie hates as much or more than Harry is to be out of the loop when it comes to Harry and his father. He hates that more than anything. And because it seems like Harry and his father are going to get together and do Invictus in the coming year, he is absolutely flipping the F out. And so, with his cup of salty tears, he went over there to Tom Sykes, and this is the article we got. The most batshit crazy article that I have read in many of a day. And that's saying a lot when you are covering all those flying monkeys and all the articles they write over there across the pond. But this one right here is special. It really is. Like that squatty said earlier, this is special educational special. Yes, very special. And the title of the article is William's Allies. William Allies. That's crazy within itself. William's allies hope King Charles will shut down Harry's Invictus ass, but fears he won't. I mean, crazy. And it says, as Harry floats a fantasy of public reconciliation, allies of William urges the palace to swat it down, but privately question whether a hesitant, conflicted, adverse king has the mettle to do it. Yes, calling Charles weak. This guy is crazy. Willie is absolutely fever-minded to another level. I mean, he cannot stand the thought of being out of the loop. He cannot stand to be on the outside looking in where he chooses to be. Charles is trying to make amends with his son because he needs the positive PR. So, because of that, Willie is left on the outside, being the bad guy, being the dumb one, as he is. And so, because of that, he's trying to navigate the situation in order to try to center himself in it. Because it's really not about him, it's about Harry and Charles, but he wants to make it about him, trying to make Harry into this scheming and conniving villain, which he never was. Because if it's any scheming and conniving villain, it would be him, really. But yeah, he has always done this. And he has always felt some kind of jealousy when it comes to the relationship of Harry and Charles. He has. Y'all remember that incident when they were doing an interview or something and Harry was laying in Charles's arms right beside him and Willie was up over him knocking the shit out of Charles's head because he was jealous that Harry was laying beside his father. He is very jealous when it comes to Harry and Charles's relationship. Charles knows this. He's very smart about it. And he uses Harry in order to try to control Willie. But this time, it's not about controlling Willie. It's about saving himself. And I am willing to bet that Charles is going to be at the Invictus Games. But let's go on. And this article says, I've been talking to friends and allies of King Charles and Prince William's all day to gauge a reaction to Prince Harry's latest astonishing campaign. Why is it astonishing for Harry, who is the founder of the Invictus Game, to invite the head of state to the Invictus Game? This has been going on forever, as long as the Invictus Games has been going on. I mean, it is ridiculous to me that they're acting so astonished. Yes, that's the word they're using. It says trying to get the king to open Harry's big Invictus Games event in Birmingham next year, making it about them instead of about the wounded soldiers. Not a good look. I'm just saying. It says this story was leaked to the Sun and has been confirmed to me as essentially true by sources in Harry's camp. Well, like I say, you can only just look at the history of the Invictus Games. They always invite the head of state. They always have dignitaries at Invictus. So I don't understand what they're talking about. And it says, after talking to all sides, what I can tell you for sure is that while this is a long way from a done deal, there's a very real possibility that Charles, for some insane reason, I mean, I told you this is a batshit crazy article. Why would it be an insane reason for a man to attend his son's event? Do these people not have the ability to understand what is normal and what is abnormal anymore? It's crazy to me. I can't. Like I said, it says there is a very real possibility that Charles, for some insane reason, might actually be thinking about doing this, much to the chagrin of Prince William. Isn't that something? That child needs some help right now. They really need to get William in some therapy. And I don't mean tomorrow either. I don't mean a week from now. I mean right now, right away. He needs to be on someone's couch talking about all of this nonsense he has going on up in that head of his. And it says, in that sense, is that the story is an interesting illustration of the larger pattern and theme that are destabilizing the monarchy so much at the moment. The conflict between the monarch and the heir on the key matter of policy, what to do about Harry, the king's failure to communicate clearly to his public where he stands on the matter of Harry. To me, this makes no sense. Why does he need to make it clear on where he stands with Harry? I don't think the public is knocking down the palace walls trying to find out what Charles thinks about Harry. Harry is minding his business 5,000 miles away. I'll tell you who is bothered by this whole thing about Charles and Harry and wants to know where Charles stands with Harry, and that is Willie. This is all about Willie wanting to know if Charles and Harry are going to officially reconcile at Invictus. And this particular squatter reposted that article, at least a repost that posted the article. And the original post said this: apparently, toddler Willie is having sleepless nights and rage tantrums over the prospect of King Charles having a involvement with Invictus Games. Whoever told Willie the world revolved around him really did him no favors. Where is the lie? It's all because he's out of the loop. And he has been acting like this since he was a child. He cannot stand for Harry and Charles to have a good relationship. Somehow he thinks it's Charles going against him. It is crazy to me. Like I said, they should have had William in therapy prior to Diana dying because Willie has had problems way before this. And because of that, I think them ignoring the problems that Willie has, it has resulted in this man baby who cannot be controlled and does nothing but throw all these tantrums and do not understand how all of his wounds are self-inflicted, that he is his own worst enemy. It's not Harry, it's him. I'm just saying. And the squatty that reposted this said, if Prince William could, he would relaunch a revamped Earthshot, which would include some element of sport activities and prizes for the competitors. Where is the lie? If he could get a redo, he would absolutely copy Invictus. I believe this. Y'all tell me what y'all think. All right, y'all, I want to put this up because it is just Chef's Kiss. It is by one of the squatties that I love, I follow, and is so good at what she does. And what she does is what he said and what we heard. Those two different views, and I love how she does it. And she's talking about Tom Thumbhead Sykes, what he said and what we heard. And as you can see, she posted that article that he wrote. And of course, the title is William's Allies Hope King Charles Will Shut Down Harry's Invictus Ass, but fears he won't. That's what he said. But what we heard was William sycophants like me are hoping to make an event for veterans all about his petty jealousy of Harry. Exactly. It's all about his jealousy of Harry and him being out of the loop. He cannot handle it. He absolutely is so jealous of Harry's success, him thriving, and now Harry and Charles possibly reconnecting. And I mean, he can't help himself. He has to act out. And this is him acting out, going through Tom Thumbhead Sykes. And this particular swatty posted that, her comparisons, which I love, and said this: Kiss R's Tom Psycho is fully aware that the host nation's head of state takes part in Invictus Game ceremony is standard, but I can't even pronounce what she calls him, but she calls him a terrorist, will never not encourage hashtag William is a bully's temper tantrums. Where is the lie? Where is it? Read this article. It is nothing but feeding into William's nonsense. And that is the problem. They feed into his nonsense, knowing it is not natural to feel this way about your brother, about your father. It is crazy to me that these flying monkeys are such an integral part of the dynamics when it comes to that family over there. They love to keep them at each other's throats. Harry said that in an interview, and it is proven time and time again. And it is definitely proven in this batshit crazy article from Tom Thumbhead Sykes. It is crazy for anyone to write an article like this and expect people to actually take them seriously as a journalist. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. And this particular squad said, name one iteration of the Invictus Games where there wasn't a government representative of the host country. Y'all remember Trudeau, King William, and the Obamas? Please stop letting the British media personalize something that has nothing to do with Chuck and Harry's familial relationship. Exactly. This is standard. And it is a master stroke as well because it puts Charles on the spot. Because Charles, if he doesn't respond and be the head of the armed forces like he is supposed to be, it has nothing to do with Harry. It has everything to do with him. But like Tom Thumbhead Sykes said, I think Charles is going to show up. I'm just saying. And I'm going to end it with this post. Well, I'm not going to end it with this post. I got one more post, but this post right here to me just pretty much says why we got that article from Tom Thumbhead Sykes. It says Willie and Kate are now panicking at the events unfolding without them. They are scrambling to recenter themselves. The bots are not working, and neither did the fake cancer force an abdication by Charles. These are crises entirely of their own making. Exactly. Willie is one of the originators of the smear campaign that was waged against Harry and Meghan. And now, him being Dr. Frankenstein and his monster has turned on him and has created such a problem, he has had to employ a crisis manager. Here he is desperately trying to center himself again, trying to make the Invictus Games about him and how he feels his father should behave or what kind of relationship his father is to have with his brother. It is absolutely all born out of desperation. Him and Kitty, the two jealous, bitter, envious sides of the same coin, is absolutely spinning out of control, and it shows. Look at them. They look like Harry and Meghan's grandparents at this point because they absolutely are totally and completely allowing hatred and jealousy to eat them alive. One thing about Charles, he is petty, he's evil, he's selfish and self-centered, but he's not dumb. Willie is all those things and dumb. And that is the reason why he is in the position he's in today. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But I think this is nothing but Willie's desperation to try to insert himself into something that has nothing to do with him. It's not about him. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I want to put this up. I want to end it on a positive note. And I saw this and I had to put it into the podcast. Look what this squatty has done. They went and found pictures of Meghan interacting with kids and how good she is at it. She is absolutely so engaging when it comes to kids. And I love seeing her with kids. I do. And as you can see, it is some great shots in this collage. It really is. And this squatty says this: Meghan is the children's princess, always so attentive to kids and always loved by kids. Yes, look at that. That I love that one. You see that one when she and Harry was in Colombia and they were doing the dancing and they took the picture with the little Young dancers. Yes, I love that one too. Oh, just so much. And her in South Africa when she went to that daycare. You can just go through them all, and it's just so good. It is. So, something to end on a positive note. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.